Yo, when I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Kop End Fracas, powered by Touchline Media Group. I am your host, Chris. Today, I am joined by an all-star cast of Kop End contributors. I have got Glam, who probably thought I was going to say his name last, but, you know, I had to put him first.
Well done, mate. Well done.
I listen to patrons. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's been a long time since we've had Glam on the main pod. He's been missed 100%. And no, man, new season. We've got Glam-Back, and we're looking forward to seeing what Glam's got to say, especially about some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. So, Glam, welcome back, and looking forward to hearing some of the views you got coming up. Of course, we have got Ellis with us as well. Els, how you doing today? How's your week going?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Same old, bro. Been a calm week, man. Here, bro. How you?
I'm all right, you know. I was knee deep in some projects at work and then got it passed off to someone else. So I'm pretty calm now. I'm pretty calm. I was stressing yesterday, but I'm all right now. I'm all right. And last but not least, we've got the good brother himself. We've got Mr. Harold on the pod. Harold, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you, mate. I'm all well. Thank you for having me. How are you? I'm
very well, thank you. It's what we like to see. The beaming smile of Harold lightens up our days. And if you watch on the YouTube, I'm hoping it's lighting up your day as well. Before we do get stuck into all the Liverpool action that we've watched over the weekend, I want to bring your attention to something we've got here. It is the Touchline Fracas live event. That is right. It's been, how long has it been since we had a live event? Over 18 months? 24 months? It's been a while.
Yeah, a little while,
man. It's been a while.
I'll be there.
But there you go. Harold will be there. Ellis will be there. If there's a certain man who's posting Arsenal lost memes and you want to bottle him, he might be there as well. I'm just saying, a little bit more incentive to pull you into the live show.
I dare all of you guys to insult me in person. So you guys from Discord who are listening to this, I dare all of you to insult me on Sunday. I'll see you there at Brewdog.
You're gonna see Harold sitting down. You think he's not that tall, and then you're gonna see Harold stand up, and you're gonna be like, I need to fall back, brother. I need to fall back. But this Sunday, 2 p.m. at Brewdog Dalston. The postcode is below in the video. It is Touchline Fracas Live, and we will be watching. I believe we're watching the United game as well. But the main feature, the main event, is Chelsea versus Arsenal, and If there's one thing, if you tune into the Touchline Fracas Discord shows, it is the pammings are on offer. Banter is on offer. And in a live event, it's going to be more. It's going to be like Monday Night Raw, basically. The Attitude Era of Monday Night Raw. It's just going to be, it's going to be fantastic. So please do try to get down there. There is a free drink on entry of your ticket. There will be food. And of course, there will be our live podcast recording after the fact as well. So do head over to shoobs.com today. The link will be in the description for this video and podcast as well on the respective platform. So head over to the website and sign up today. And hopefully we will see you there. Of course, if you love what we do here at Kop End, if you're a big fan, and I'm hoping that you are because you're watching us on the video and you're listening to us on the pod, we do have our Patreon page, which has been absolutely booming in the past week and continues to boom with the week coming up as well. We brought back the famous post-match pod for the game we're going to talk about a little bit later on. And of course, we've got a whole host of stuff coming on this week. We have 2 split factions. Again, continuing the wrestling theme. You know how I feel about wrestling. You know how I love it. So the metaphor is apt and deserved. We've got 2 split factions within Kop End. We have one faction that's called the NWO, who are anti-FSG. And then we have the company men, who are not drinking the Kool-Aid per se, but they are entwined and they trust the process of what is going on. So we've got 2 pods focused on their ethos and how they're going to outline and bring you into the fold. So you can, so when you're on the Discord lives or anyone talking to us on Twitter, you can be in tune with these pods. And we've got so much more coming on as well. Harold, talk to him.
Chris, I have to ask you a question. I can't allow you just to get off lightly there. Are you going to also explain on either pod, NWO or the company men, how you left the company then, right? This summer after we haven't made many a signing. That's what I'm most looking forward to. So is that going to happen? Can you confirm?
My announcement, the grand reveal will be done on a separate pod. It'll be the Kop End Fracas SummerSlam when the transfer window shuts. So that will be when it is. I will explain my felonious ways on both those parts of all honesty, because I have been sitting on the fence for far too long, getting away with it. So yeah, thank you for calling me out on that one, Harold. Massively appreciated.
No problem, mate. No problem.
But of course, if you do like what we do here at Kop End, then please head over to our Patreon page. That is www.patreon.com/Kop End Fracas. It will be in the link for this pod below. And, membership start from just £3 a month. That's just £3 per month. It's change. And, we really appreciate every single person who has signed up to the Patreon and continues to sign up to the Patreon. You are appreciated. We love you. And we hope you keep enjoying the content that we are putting out. On to the pod itself, and I don't know about you guys, but what a weekend of football that was. When you talk about peak Barclays, peak Premier League football, it had everything. It had Arsenal tears. It had promoted teams coming up and doing a madness. Bruno doing his normal job of giving us all fantasy points. If you don't have many fantasy team, I don't know what you're doing. It had Pep scratching his head, drinking his water as per usual, thinking, I don't know what's going on. With the fullbacks, with the left fullbacks when we put them in the midfield. It had everything, man. It had everything you want. So how glad are you guys the football is back? And of course with roaring crowds behind it as well.
Go on. Go on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Gas, man. I would say the least. Yeah, gas is really good. Yeah, I think the fans just made it a bit extra special, especially like the first game we watched was the Brentford versus the Arsenal game. Never seen Brentford play in the top league, and to get a victory like that with the fans, I think was extra special, man. Definitely. Also, like, obviously, we'll talk about our game.
You scored a good goal at St. James's, Els.
Oh, thank you, Harold. Do you know what it is? I was going to talk about your
great goal, mate.
So this is what we'll do, Harold. Yeah, okay. It's all right. It's okay.
We are not even 10 minutes of this pod, and Harold is trying to. And Harold is doing both me and Ellis.
Do you know what? Yeah? It's only because that. Sorry, I've completely cut you off here. But that Newcastle West Ham game was just. It was a pick of the bunch for me. It was such a good game. That is the best advertising of Premier League football I think I could ever give.
Apart from the poor penny.
Yeah, but even though it was a crap penalty, Souček still managed to get a goal somehow from the rebound. But
I mean the decision is poor, man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was a pen for me though.
You think so?
I thought it was
you can't go down in the box like that, man. It's a silly challenge. Come on.
Yeah, I get that part. I suppose, obviously, overruling, obviously, VAR, ref gave it, right?
Yeah.
Now, was it a clear and obvious error? That's the problem. That's what it probably is, the issue. It would have been tough, but yeah, he does get him, but if you're on receiving it, you're upset.
Yeah, but the thing is, if my player made that challenge in the box, I'll be fuming. I'll be like, fam, why would you do such a that? Why would you do? You know what I mean?
Well, players do make that though. I suppose. I just think that if he doesn't go down like that, I just think it's not a pen. But so yeah, that's his job. Innit? Obviously, the way you go down obviously influences the referee.
Yeah, true.
And that's what we got to do with our players. Our players are too honest. We don't go down.
Everyone has to go down, man. If you get a touch,
not everyone is too honest. Salah went down from the tiniest touch from Cantwell this weekend. I love it.
Start the season, man. Start the season. We got to win it. Make sure we get them points. You know.
Yeah. No, it's fact. No, I love it. Keep it coming.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's Pete Barclays, man. Pete Barclays, man. That's what we love to see. Someone's got a banging goal.
Yeah.
Now,
touch on that. I was excited for the season to start. I've been yearning for the fans to come back for the longest, man. I just think it makes a massive difference to the whole occasion. And obviously, to start off on Friday, which I knew, I done the match preview last week. I got a few results right. I knew Arsenal would lose.
Yeah, you did really well on the old. You should have put an acca down. Don't know what you did.
Yeah, I know, mate. I was apart from the Leeds one, but I knew Arsenal would lose. I knew Spurs would win. I just think that, you know, I know we're talking about the Harry Kane situation, but I just think when Son plays and Kane don't play, I think they've done well. I remember occasion when Spurs were doing well, Kane were in the team, and then he came back. He was scoring every game, but they weren't winning. I think they lost, then they drew, then they lost again, but he scored every game. And sometimes you got to think about the team, man. So I knew they would beat City.
Well, also, I just think that style of play that Pep plays, that high pressure, intensive football, you have to get a goal while you're on top, especially because you ain't got a shooter up front, right? And Spurs have got the perfect Spurs are the perfect kryptonite with Kane and Son. Obviously, Kane hasn't played in the last 5 games against them, but with Son there, that is his kryptonite, a clinical counter-attack. You can't do nothing against that. And Spurs set up quite well under Nuno, man. Like, you have to give him proper it's due. Oliver Skip was decent as well. Like, they were Pep needs to deal with, because it's funny because we can be like that sometimes, because we can be like, we can pressurize teams and then they look like they're getting the better of us because they're getting through on goal with some counter attack. So I think it's something that we should be looking at to try and not so as we're laughing at Pep, like, we should make sure it doesn't happen to us, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think City should have Cancelo chance, which I thought was off. Well, he went offside, but the reaction was like it wasn't even close. And when I saw that chance again, he had a shot on goal, a free shot on goal when Grealish went through and he got hacked by a skip. Like, I think they was on top at that stage, but yeah, I was happy for them to lose. I can't be honest. I'm happy for them to lose, man. Do you know what I mean?
Like, a lot of people. Grealish was getting destroyed out there. It was,
man, he draws the fouls. Yeah, it was.
His ankles must be finished at the end of games. Absolutely.
Look how fat his calves are, bruv. His calves are ridiculous. The Carlos, bruv, he's withstanding that, man. Do you know what I mean? He's doing his thing.
He gets kicked too much, though, man. It's ridiculous. At first, I thought he just like he plays for it, but he gets kicked a lot.
Yeah, you see when he done it to Mora? Mora flipped into the game. Mora lost it, mate. But I think Jack was getting fed up in it. Like, why can't he do it back? I suppose. But yeah, happy them to be back, man. I'm glad football's back.
Yeah, my favourite part of the non-Liverpool part of the weekend was the West Ham fans singing to John Joe Shelby, Harry Potter, he's coming for you, which was which was just incredibly rude, but also made me laugh. More than I'd like
I think they've done it when it was at Liverpool as well. When it was at Liverpool, I remember him warming up and they sang the same song, bro. They love it, man.
Yeah, I think we're getting in trouble for some chanting. I've heard recently for the Norwich one that I thought you probably heard, but yeah, we might be getting in trouble.
I thought we were getting in trouble for that. But
yeah. I mean, let's talk about the game itself. Liverpool 3, Norwich 0. First game of the season away from home against a newly promoted team. Always one of those ones where you look at it as a potential booby trap, especially when, you know, it's the first game with fans back. Obviously, Norwich had a very good season in the Championship, again, without fans kind of backing them too. So this is kind of their let-off for all the stuff that they achieved last year. Talk about Klopp's selection for this game. So, Els, I'll come to you first. We briefly kind of touched on this on the post-match pod on Saturday. Again, if you're looking forward to a little bit more post-match action, then head over to the Patreon page and subscribe today. But what were your initial thoughts when the lineup dropped?
I was surprised with Van Dijk starting. I thought it was a bit too early. I was surprised with the midfield. I'm not the biggest fan of Keita and Ox playing together. I wasn't even the biggest fan of Milner playing at DM. Yeah, but apart from that, yeah, I was a bit. Those are the things that took me unawares, really, truly, because with Milner, the mobility, he hasn't got it. He did run a lot, but running a long distance instead of like sprinting from one place to one place is very different. It's nothing to do with his ability. It's just his age to like get his brain thinking with his body at that pace. It is a lot.
Yeah.
Not to say like he's like bare old or anything, but just he's playing against men who are 10 years younger than him and who can move a bit quicker than him. You know what I'm saying? Van Dijk, obviously, he's just come back off a long injury. I don't know how ready he is, but he must be ready. in Klopp's eyes. So yeah, those are the things that kind of stood out to me, and it kind of made me nervous because obviously with Norwich playing at home, they're going to have the crowd behind them. They're going to be on it, first game of the season. They can leave us with a bloody nose. So those are the kind of first few thoughts I had with the game.
Yeah, we always, it's every single time whenever Milner plays, we have this kind of weird discourse about, why is he playing Milner? Why is he playing Milner? And then he drops this performance where it doesn't look particularly good on the eyes. When you check the stats afterwards, it's one of those ones where you look at it, it's like, okay, cool. He did everything you need to do in his job. But no, I completely share your sentiments there. Harold, I'll come to you. Kind of initial thoughts when the lineup dropped. Were you surprised by that midfield three more than kind of the centre-back pairing?
Was I surprised more by the midfield three than the centre-back pairing? Yes, for sure. You guys spoke about Milner. I thought he was absolutely rubbish. Mush says that Milner he doesn't ever have a bad game. He's just old. I don't have a clue what the hell he's talking about. He had a bad game. He wasn't good. Like, what the hell does that even mean? So like an old person can't have a bad game. Like, what are you on about? Anyway, he was crap. In my humble opinion, I don't think he was good at all. I didn't understand why Fabinho didn't play. Fabinho, out of a possible 7 games in Copa America that Fabinho could have played, he played 4 minutes of 2. He played 5 minutes in the other 2 games. So he played about 30% of the games possible because it was just Casemiro and Fred playing in their 2-man midfield. I didn't understand why Fabinho didn't play. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Milner wasn't good. Like, I'll be honest with you. Fair enough. Ox should have done more. Cato was all right. Like, he was just solid. Like, I won't get on to him. Ox should have done more. But at the same time, I was like, why didn't Fabinho play? Like, I just didn't understand. Milner was not good. If Milner's going to play, he needs to play in at 8. And he needs to play for about half an hour to 60 minutes. He was not good. Simple as that. I'm sorry. Now, centre-back pairing, yeah, I was surprised by it. It was good to see Matip and VVD back. Like, I've even forgotten his name. Can you imagine? It's been that long. It was good to see Van Dijk back. But I think you could see at particular moments he was a little bit apprehensive to go into certain challenges. And normally he would just clear a man out and just show him that he's just physically like dominant on said player. And you saw that it was a little bit apprehensive. I was like, okay, fine, I get it. You're trying to get your body back to normal, so fair enough. But at the same time, I was thinking about it, glass half full. Maybe Klopp is thinking, let me put him out early. Let me get his minutes up. Like, let him get used to playing. Like, let's get him back in the groove of things. Even if he only plays for 60 minutes, obviously play for the whole 90. If he only plays for 60, then cool, sweet. Then we can continue on from there. That's what I was thinking. Maybe just getting minutes under his belt. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts, Krish, on the lineup. Everything else, yeah, I was cool with it. It was good to see Jota start as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I think we're going to talk about a little bit more about kind of just specific areas of the pitch kind of later on. But no, I think when you look at that 11 when it drops, the Milner thing over Fab was a bit because and you know how the team plays whenever Fabinho is. I think you saw it more with Naby more than anyone. He was kind of embodying the withdrawn role of Liverpool midfielder, kind of within that 60-minute period that Fabinho wasn't on the pitch, and then you saw him be a bit more open, expansive when Fabinho came on. But yeah, no, I completely agree. Before we talk about the performance in more grand detail, Glam, I'm going to come to you. I know you weren't entirely sold with what you saw from that first half in particular. Talk us through what made you a little bit hesitant to think that we might not come away with the win.
I wouldn't say we might not come away with the win. I just weren't happy with the performance. I weren't happy with the flow. I think in terms of the team selection, no surprise, was Van Dijk. I think out of 4 centre-backs we have, Gomez looked fitter than him in the pre-season. And so did Konate. But I understand what Harold said in terms of getting him to the groove of things early, because when are you going to do it? You're not going to do it in a Carabao Cup. You're not going to do it through mid-season. So I understand why he played. In terms of obviously the game flow, I just weren't happy with like the flow. I don't think the midfield three complement each other very well at all. And I know some people think we controlled the game, but there's moments where Norwich were attacking and trying to, do you know what I mean, really hit us, and
playing good football as well, Glam. Playing good football.
Yeah. I was getting frustrated because obviously only 24 hours before Arsenal got beat up by Brentford. So I'm just like thinking, nah, this has got to stop. And going to half time, I just said, nah, something's got to give. We've got to change. I'm not happy with the performance. And I don't feel in control. I know we're on the ball, but I didn't feel in control of the game. And when I don't feel in control, especially first game of the season, all I care about is 3 points at the first game of the season. And that's why the team selection didn't really throw me off, because it's probably down to who's the fittest or who can go. So that's why the team selection, it was all about the win. So yeah, that's why I went happy, mate.
Well, Chris, I wanted to say, just to continue on from what Glam is saying there, if you notice where we play, particularly in that first half, and El always says this, get your foot on the ball, right? Get your foot on the ball. We controlled the ball when we had the ball at the back, because Matip and Van Dijk are comfortable on the ball, so is Trent, right? And that's the reason why Jota had such few touches before he even scored his goal. Like, it just literally went from defense to attack. It went from Trent straight to our attack. Our midfielders were doing bleep tests. They didn't touch the ball. And there were certain times where Keita got on it. I was like, okay, cool. But then that was few and far between, and that was it. And they're just going back and forth, literally defense to attack, attack to defense. And then when Norwich had it, they looked like they got out of our presses fairly well. Like they did. I was like, okay, look, you're about to concede, you're about to lose the ball, but then they managed to get out of it. There was one fella, the right back, they were obviously Aaron's, but the left back, sorry, he looked like he was all right.
Gonzalez, something, the Greek guy.
Yeah, bro, he looked like he was a decent player, but our midfield wasn't there, bro. Like, Fabinho came on, and then we had control. That was it.
Yeah. To be fair, that's where Firmino, I saw it from probably the first half.
Agreed.
Nothing against Jota, but he's not pressing forward. He was trying, don't get me wrong. I saw him trying, but he looked slow with it. Firmino's pressing. You could see clearly the difference in the pressing through central.
He also runs the ball better. Like Firmino is probably, him and Thiago are probably our most, I'd say, techie players. Maybe Trent as well, but teched out. Like, they're very competent technically, right? So when Firmino came, I wasn't surprised that he was relishing, because no one else was doing it, bro. No one else.
That it's really interesting to say that, because that 20 minutes to kind of like 26, but basically before our goal, that kind of like 6 minute period. I thought Norwich were fairly, not dominant, but they were causing us a lot of troubles. And I'm glad you said that, Harold, about Norwich beating the press, because it's one of the next kind of things I want to talk about. And I assume this is what made Glam very hesitant too. So we work a lot, and you can tell the team have worked a lot on kind of team shape and pressing during the camp at Evian. If you were reading Pep Linda's diary on the Liverpool website, it's really good insight to kind of what they were operating on during that kind of like training camp. But when Norwich were able to kind of break the press from the midfield when it wasn't working properly, and it wasn't kind of in that initial period from that 6 minute gap, it had a massive detrimental effect on our centre-backs, especially in that first half. As we know, Matip and Van Dijk, they like to kind of hold that high line. And one of the reasons we didn't concede as many goals from last season from those positions, especially towards the end, is because we had less capable centre-backs, so the line was pushed back less. So they're in positions to kind of eat up the ball and kind of gain the ground from there. Els, I'll come to you. We've seen this kind of exploit the gap tactic, and I think it got overblown. It didn't get overblown. It got underblown, when we lost to Watford, as that's one of the main things that they kind of focused on. And of course, it was massively under the spotlight when Villa beat us. Do you think that that's one of the things that we need to consistently kind of keep working on, and just maybe not even drop the line, but just be more hesitant from a centre-back point of view, whilst both guys are getting up to speed, and make sure that when this press is bypassed, that we are in position to kind of not be exploited from a long ball?
To us, yes. To the Liverpool staff, no. Because, when you work on something for so long, you don't really want to change it. And then you don't really want to... Because if we was to drop, let's say, another 5-10 yards, then the disconnect between the midfield and the defense is too. The midfield and defense is too much. Then the attackers are not going to get the ball as much as we saw with Jota in the midfield, where the midfield weren't really connecting with him. They weren't really, and he wasn't really dropping anyway, because if he needed to drop to be a bit compact, so we need our team to be as compact as possible so the counter press can work as well as it can. So it'll be very hard to say drop 5 yards. If we was to drop 5 yards, that means we have to change our whole philosophy. Then we become a counter-attacking team, not really a counter-pressing team. So then if it was to again drop 5 yards and everyone drops a bit, so now we're trying to absorb pressure and catch people on the break, which we are very good at doing. But more time we want to try and have authority in games. I think the problem with Saturday was that I know Norwich had one chance when Cantwell knocked it over, and it's
so that's what kind of set me off about it, because you saw Aaron's. So that's where the press is initially beaten. So Aaron gets the ball out to Cantwell, and Cantwell's fairly close to the byline, and he plays that long ball, long through Pookie, and it goes straight between
Matip
Van Dijk and Matip, and you can see him kind of like positioning himself to get there. So do you think that's more of a concentration issue from? Because I actually think, and I want to talk about this later on, because I thought Matip was absolutely phenomenal throughout the game, and you can tell that he's mate. It's ridiculous how good he is. I thought Virgil, you could still see, and he was adamant himself that he still had a little bit of that rust, and he wasn't nervous, but he didn't have that kind of in-game. He wasn't switched on in-game.
I think, you know, my problem with that chance was that left-hand side weren't pressing, so Naby needs to be onto Cantwell as soon as possible, or even Mane needs to be onto Cantwell, because usually we see Mane is very good presser, but if you give people time, and it happened against the two games you mentioned, Watford 2 seasons ago, we were just giving them so much time on the ball to just do whatever they want. And the same with Villa, it was so easy because, again, Jota, who was playing, I say he wasn't used to the press, and Naby wasn't pressing. So that was a problem. Me personally, obviously other people might think differently, but I think that the main problem is if you're not pressing in front, you're going to cause a lot of problems for us, because it's so easy just to knock it over. I think it's something that we need to work on. Maybe the likes of Naby and Ox, they need to be switched on with that press, and even Jota needs to know when to press, and you need to really be switched on. Again, even Timiskas.
So we love a good football reference page note here. So if you do want some good match reports, do over to the page. And Harold, I'm going to come to you on this bit. It's interesting that Ellis says in terms of the pressures from Naby, especially. I think that's one of the things they'll look to work on, because in terms of successions from their pressures, Keita had about 31 pressures, but only seven successful. So it was around about 23%, sorry. And then Jota, weirdly enough, when we think about he didn't press well, 13 presses with 4 of them being successful. So you look at that when we think about enabling the press well. And maybe that's something that just comes with time as the guys get more settled into that lineup. And of course, when more first-team midfielders come back into play, it's possibly a different story. Fabinho's in the midfield, and then you've got Jordan Henderson on the right-hand side as well. But do you think that that's one thing to be a little bit worried about, and they need to kind of work on consistently as they go into this latter stage of a pre-season, as it were?
First of all, I just want to say I like this so much, because this is some of the most intricate analysis you're going to find on a Liverpool team ever. So, like, this is what I mean. Like, we analyze everything as part of this team. So I think this is a fantastic discussion. And I'm going to get even more finer. I want to talk about how it depends on so out of those 13 presses you mentioned for Jota, for instance, is he initiating all 13? Is he the second man to go in the press? Is he the third man to go in the press? If 1 and 2 haven't done a good job, then he's already failing even before he's made that last minute run. It's interesting to think about it like that as well. I am not worried about this, because if there's one thing that we do well, it is that tactic, the tactics. We don't look like we're out of shape. Last season seemed like a bit more of an anomaly, but we fixed up finally towards the end. But I don't really feel like we do. And one thing I've had to get used to with this Liverpool team team and just football in general is that everyone starts taking more risks. So you can see when we're defending and when we're coming against a team that even if we miss out on the press, as you spoke about, and it won't be successful, we rely a lot on players' physical ability. So for instance, Van Dijk's pace, or Matip's knowledge, or Gomez's pace once again, and a world-class goalkeeper between the sticks. So and also the offside as well. We love an offside. We
love a late offside, don't we?
We love it, and God. They always berate the linesman.
I'm pretty sure it's in all the defenders. Like, it's a bonus in all of their. That's what the
there has to be in it because they berate the linesman after they don't give the offside in time. Like, Matip's arms are going out all over the place. So I think that's a risk I'm actually willing to take because I've had to get used to it as part of the Liverpool team. When you're growing up and watching football, you're like, just hoof it, like just get rid of it, like don't like why are you playing this high line? Just drop back, like. But now I get it. Now I start to analyze the Liverpool team a bit more. You need to push up the pitch so you can press a bit more. But you're right in saying that the pressers do need to get better. But I'm not worried. As yet, because I do think that's something we generally do really well. So let's let them get a bit more used to it. Jota's not used to playing through the middle as well. So that's something else he needs to think about. So I'm not mad at that at all. KK is not even used to playing football, for goodness sake. So once again, I'm not even mad at that. So it needs to, like that kind of thing will come with time. If you ask me game week 5, game week 6 after international break, it's still same thing still happening. Yeah, I'm worried. I am. But give it 2 more games. I think it should fix up for sure.
No, love it. Again, we've got a new show coming as well that's going to go into even more tactical detail. And it's got Kop End members Mike and Peter who are going to be leading that one. Again, that is only for Patreons, and that'll be a Patreon exclusive. So head over to the Patreon and subscribe today to be in the loop on when that drops. One of the players we've talked about, Glam, I want to come to you about this guy. When we talk about underrated players in football, a lot of names do come to mind, but when I saw Joel Matip play at the weekend, I don't actually remember the last time he had what you would consider a bad game. This is a guy who's not played football.
Spurs away.
How long ago was that as well?
That was 2017.
Yeah, piss off, Harold, mate.
You look at him play. I mean, he's not played a game since Christmas, and he just literally comes in. He plays right hand centre back, and he's never even left the pitch. I can't get over how brilliant of a footballer he is. I just want to talk. How impressed are you with Matip's performance from this weekend, and from just how crucial a piece he can be if we have these ambitions to win the league this season?
I'm gonna be honest. He frustrates me, man. He just frustrates me. He's like, he gets you all excited, and he's a wonderful, wonderful centre half. Gets you excited. He plays.
Is he a bit of a tease, Glam? Is he a bit of a tease?
I didn't want to say that still with all the man on a pod still. So I didn't want to say that. I tried to use my words carefully. I can't lie. But yeah, he's a top player. But this is what we go through, and then he then gets injured, or he goes missing, and then I'm so unlucky for him. I'll be honest with you, because the Liverpool career will be a bit up and down when we got him on a free transfer, and he's a top centre back. He's a top centre back, and I just disappointed the fact that the time when Van Dijk was out and Gomez was out, he was there. And we really needed him, and he let us down. I know everyone gets injured, but he let us down. But talking obviously how he plays, he's just phenomenal. He's a phenomenal centre half. He's good on the ball. I remember obviously at Schalke, he's actually played DM as well, and you can see it.
Do you remember that one? You probably remember it before we signed, when we kind of announced the pre-contract in January, and there was that one kind of a clip that was going around of him when he did that dribble from defensive midfield and scored.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So he can play football, man, and that's what I love about it. He can play football. Van Dijk can play football. Gomez can play football. So it's a good headache to have, but He was very good.
And Glam, to add to that as well, I know how much you love Gomez, innit? You love Gomez.
Yeah.
South London, like Gomez is your guy. So is this like is Matip one of the few players you'd be like, you know what? I'd understand why he might get a nod ahead of Gomez.
No, do you know what it is? I think it's because if Gomez played and he started, I think it's more the fact that if they're playing well, then you stay in the team, and that's how it was before. I remember Gomez came back in after he was injured, and he got his place back. And Matt said the only certainty is Van Dijk in it. So who plays with him? But it's just the fact it's a good headache. Obviously, Gomez is a bit different to Matip in terms of we've got options in some games, and obviously I know he played behind closed doors in that game that we won against Villa. Yeah. He played behind closed. Everyone else that played. So yeah, it's. I'd rather have this situation. And as I said in the group to you guys, Gomez and Kanute, 23, and Kanute, 21?
Konate, Glam, Konate.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, man. Konate. I'm gonna get used to it. I'm old school, innit? I'm from the ballers from back in the 90s.
Thinking about Freddie Kanute,
But you know when you got Premier League. I'm from the Premier League stickers days, innit? So forgive me, man. Obviously, them guys there. But no, Konate. So yeah, they can learn off Matip and Van Dijk. Do you know what I mean? So it's a good headache to have, and I don't think Gomez will be fast in any way that he's out of the team. It's a squad game, so yeah, I'm happy, man.
And he played in that Osasuna game as well. He's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
Gomez.
Again, was on. That's why I thought he would start. I'll be honest. That's why I thought he would start. But I get why Van Dijk started. We need to get Van Dijk as fit as possible, as soon as possible.
100%. It's quick job, Matip. Stats roundup from that game: 93% passing accuracy, 3 accurate long balls, 2 clearances, won all of his aerial duels, and had 4 ball recoveries. When you consider him as the second centre back, it's a brilliant performance.
He's top 5 in the Premier League. Everyone fit
easily, bro.
Simple,
easily. Yeah,
I think we've got 3 of those in there.
Yeah, I'm going to say when you look at it, when you look at centre backs in general, how hard it is to kind of locate and sign very good centre backs that do what they need to do in the modern game. Kind of have those diagonal passings, have the relevant amount of speed to be able to be operating with the ball at their feet. It's very hard. They are unicorns in this day and age, and if you do find one, it more than likely is going to cost you 60-70 million pounds. To think the fact that we've brought these lads on frees and lower fees, obviously Virgil aside, and we've got 4 of them, it's a bloody good problem to have.
Yeah, massive. Massive.
I think keeping them fit, hopefully, I wouldn't mind if Matip plays 15 games because I know they're going to be stellar 15 games, and they're probably games that we're going to win very much. And if we can share the rest of the games between Konate and Gomez and Matip, I think we will do very well this season, even with Van Dijk, because you don't want Van Dijk playing too many games coming off the back of not playing for a year. So to have 4 top centre backs in your squad is it's very good, man. Yeah,
agree.
Big up Matip, man.
Big him up, man.
Big up Ben White as well.
I love that, man. Thank you. Yes,
that was good, man. That guy was getting flogged on Friday. I saw him getting called Ben Oyimbo. I saw him called Ben Gora. Jesus.
No, do you know what? I feel for him. I do feel for him because anyone going into the Arsenal back line, you're gonna, unless you're a Van Dijk stature, you're gonna get ruined. Yeah. You're gonna get ruined. You know what I mean?
He probably went in at half time. He went in at half time. Fucking hell, man.
Bruv, he was gonna phone to Graham. He was gonna phone to Graham Potter, bruv. The fuck you that set me up here for, mate?
he was getting spun.
You could just see Lewis Dunk sending him a message saying, "Told you."
Lad, I told you. Yeah, he was getting spun, man.
Yeah, but for all your comedic Arsenal needs, do tune into this week's Touchy Gooners because it's going to be a bloody good one. And if you want more live in person pain, then of course it's Touchline Fracas Live Show this Sunday. If you want the blood of your enemies live and on stage, then the Touchline Fracas show this Sunday, 2 p.m. at Brewdog Dalston is the place to be. But yeah, I want to have a conversation about the first goal because I think it's really good build-up play from everyone involved in the move. So obviously Milner sets it off, lays it off to Trent. It's a fantastic ball, first and foremost, by Trent to kind of get it within a very good goal-scoring position. Somehow the assist goes to Mo, which was the funniest thing when I checked that on the old FPL. I was thinking, there's no way, because he's miscontrolled this. But what
it's come off him, though. If it's come off him, it's assist, bro.
There we go, man. This is the age we live in where we award these things, but I'm not going to complain. You helped me out. So we talk about one of the things we've been missing from Liverpool number 9s in recent memory, and just in general, to be fair, is a pure striker's touch when a ball is within the 12-yard, not even in the 12-yard box, but just within that general vicinity. Jota absolutely punishes that ball. It is a little bit of an error from Tim Krul, but Jota does what needs to be done and puts the ball in the back of the net. Harold, I'll come to you. When you look at that and you think one of the things we've been missing on probably in the past 18 months is someone just within those areas. And it's something obviously we've talked about in terms of transfer shows. One of the things that we need, someone with that pure striker's touch. Jota has absolutely provided there. How big do you think this is going to be in terms of us recouping some of the goals we missed last season with having him fit and firing going into the rest of the remaining campaign?
Yeah, huge, man. Huge. I loved it. I love those, like, it's almost like a shithouse kind of goal. Like I saw it right after he scored. Sky Sports brought up a stat. So he had 22nd most touches. And I was like, okay. I had to do some quick maths. I was like, oh, that's the least touches on the pitch. Okay, cool. And obviously he bagged his goal. It wasn't even a good finish. I don't care. A goal is a goal is a goal. And that's what we need. We don't have honestly, like, I feel like sometimes the players we have, they score some really well worked goals. We just need some, we'll just drop 2 in a box, smash it in. Like obviously we have Salah who gets some of those goals, but I love it, and I'm just praying he stays fit for the season because we saw what he could do before the turn of the new year last season. So look, he's quality, man. I think he needs to get used to playing up front, because it looks like that's what Klopp wants to do. So playing up front in this system that we have, I think a better midfield will also help that. So yeah, honestly, bro, like, I'm all for it. You scoring goals, you will never hear a bad word out of my mouth.
Honestly, goals are the currency in football, and as long as you are providing them, I don't care if you have one touch for the entire game. If that one touch is boom and it ends up in the back of the net, you're good with me. You're good with me, brother.
Even if you remember last season, there was times where Glam was getting on to Salah, but then he scored, and he's like, you know what? I can't say anything because he scored. I don't care how he's playing. He scored. He scored the winner. You can't say anything. It doesn't matter how well you play. You won the game.
Yeah. At least Glam admits when he's wrong, unlike certain people within the group.
Yeah. I didn't say I was wrong. I'm saying he's still playing shit, but he banged. He banged. So yeah, I can't say nothing. If you play shit and you bang, can't say nothing. You can't say nothing to nobody. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I've missed having Glam on the pod, man. It's always a good time when Glam's on, man. I've missed him still. I've missed him, man. Yeah, it's one of those ones where I think there's a little bit of kind of hesitancy to praise him for his performance in the 60 minutes he was on the pitch, but I actually thought he performed really well. And you look at him, the way he operated, he got into those clever areas. I do think it would be really interesting to see in some other games, especially when you look at the weekend's fixture in particular, where we're going up against Burnley, and you know what you're going to get from Burnley. We got the exact same thing last season. It'd be really interesting going up against a team who are coming up to set in a low block. If for maybe 5-10 minutes within certain periods of the game, there's a little bit of kind of switch around with Mane and Jota. So when Jota can kind of go and operate on that left hand side, and Sadio can kind of move the channels as well, because there's one thing we know Sadio loves doing, it is annoying defenders. I want to have a quick conversation about the 2 main midfielders not named James Milner in Naby Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain. Els, I'll come to you here. I thought Keita did a lot in the first half. A lot that goes kind of under the radar and doesn't go noticed. basically whatever Gini Wijnaldum does when he plays football for Liverpool, when he played football for Liverpool. Ox, on the other hand, you could see what he was trying to do, and I think he was in a really weird.
I couldn't.
When he was dropping back and trying to receive,
I didn't even see him on the ball, mate. What did you see, Chris?
It's like what you. It's more in his movement than anything. So it's like what you said from earlier on when the ball was moving literally from defense to attack. So he's literally bypassed him, and he was trying to kind of get in those areas where it would be a quick layoff from one of the centre backs or Milner, and he can kind of move it 10, 15 yards. He didn't really have that authority to do that in the first half. So I think some of his movement was quite clever and cute, but it wasn't there. And it was really interesting again when we kind of talk about pressures. He had the most successful pressures within the team. So he was doing something right, but again, it wasn't particularly easy on the eye. How are you rating both of those kind of midfield performances throughout the game?
Yeah, firstly, I think with Ox last season, when we saw Ox coming off the bench, playing in the midfield role, everything was gung ho and haphazard. Everything was at 100 miles per hour. His brain was telling him to do one thing, and his body was doing another. I think against Norwich, it was a bit more controlled, where he's like, okay, let me use the ball a bit more sensibly. I'm going to measure all my passes. And then that looks like he's not doing much. And I'm leaning on the side of he wasn't really doing much because he wasn't really connecting with the attack. But at the same time, it seems like he was really protecting James Milner. So James Milner won't be left alone one-on-one in the midfield. So he was doing a lot of covering for James Milner, as well as obviously helping Trent on that side defensively. At times, for me personally, Ox he's very, very good technically. So there's some things he can do with footwork. Will I expect him? Yeah, that's bread and butter. He's got a sweet right foot. He hits the ball very cleanly. So I think from that side, we wanted to see that a bit more. We wanted to see him connect with the attack a bit more, and he wasn't doing it. To be honest, it was a performance of a man who was just trying to get back to a level which is acceptable for Liverpool, which is an acceptable elite level. So I'm going to give him time. He's not going to play all the time. I just need him to have a bit more control in his game, and that's what we kind of saw. But obviously, we want him to do more on the ball. Now with Naby, it was a better performance from Naby. We know what Naby can do. Technically, he's cold. He can beat a man with his dribbles, drop a shoulder. He's got a decent pass in him. He's got, again, someone else that can hit the ball very sweetly. I thought he was a very Genie-esque performance. He was very diligent in his defensive work, and I think he got better when Fab came on. When Fab came on, he got really better because everyone, I think we spoke about in the group, he's got that bit of extra security behind him, so he's not having to again see where Milner is and try and cover that gap. Hopefully we see that more of Naby coming on as the season goes on. But with Naby, I think what we expected from Naby is what we saw at Leipzig, again, taking man on, step over his hair, just being some next Iniesta, Deco hybrid of a player. But I think 4 years into his tenure, we just want him to be consistent. If he can get 20 games for me this season, mate, I will give the maddest offering in church. Maddest offering, bro. Because that's what I want to see. That's all I want to see. Man are talking about, Naby, bro, just give me 20 solid games. 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. That's what I want. I don't want to see it. I'm not extra guy yet, me. Like me, you might know me. I'm calm in it. You know what I'm saying? I just do my thing. Shut up, arrows, man. But I don't need anything extra. I just need to see Navigator play 20 games without being injured or coming off with a back strain or something. And then maybe we can revisit this conversation. But again, against Norwich, he started well. It was a decent performance. I'm not going to say it wasn't. It was a solid 6.5. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It sounds like Pastor Toby's going to get himself a new watch if Keita does 20 good appearances this season. So, do not be afraid to show your drip there. Harold, I'll come to you on both the midfielders. You look at Naby in particular, he offered pretty much everything that Wijnaldum did offer there in terms of what you expect from that ball retention and pressing elements. I feel like you were a little bit disappointed with Ox, especially from that disappointment. Well, I'm saying you potentially were. Don't know if you were yet, but if you were disappointed, is that kind of deeply rooted in what you saw from him throughout the preseason? Because you look at him in the preseason and he seemed a lot more confident in his body, a lot more confident in his health, and he had that kind of free authority to kind of attack with a little bit more dominance that we saw at the end of that 17-18 season and in some elements in the seasons after.
Yeah, I never know what to make of preseason. I never know. Like, I don't know if the opposition are taking it as seriously as we are. I don't know if players are just doing things they don't normally do, just being a bit more I just never know what to make of preseason. When it comes to the Prem, that's why I like to focus on that a little bit more. I'm not disappointed because of what he did in preseason and relative to today. I'm disappointed with what he did on Saturday relative to what I know he can do in Liverpool Red. And that was just assert himself as one of our attacking threats. Like, you spoke about him having one of the pressure, like some good pressures in our team. That's not why we have Ox. Like, he's probably the only midfielder we have that we expect to be like, you know what, he can probably get some goals from midfield. He can probably contribute to some of our attacks. We didn't get that. But what I will say is, he had that one opportunity, and Els had mentioned, I was going to say, we had that one opportunity where we had to slip in one of our forwards. I can't remember who it is, might have been Mane. But he had the opportunity to slip it in, and that's my criticism of him, is that his final ball just isn't still there, and that's only one chance. So I'm not going to hang him out to dry just yet. Like, I'm willing to take another chance and to see him with a bit more of a stable base. And like I said, not everyone, Fabinho can't hold everyone's hands. Like, he can't do that. Don't get me wrong. For me, I think it should be Fab as a 6, and then deputy should be Hendo. And I don't even particularly want Hendo to play in the 6. But if we have a deputy, it should be Hendo, in my humble opinion. Now I want to see. I just want to see Ox in a midfield trio where I feel like he doesn't necessarily have to do the press, so much of the pressing. So we have a bit more midfield authority. That's just me personally. I was disappointed by him because even despite all of that, he did have a couple of chances where he could get on the ball, maybe do a little bit more with it. But because it was so few and far between, maybe he was overthinking it, perhaps trying to do more than he needed to do. And he was just trying to have a steady performance. Maybe that's just what's in his head. I can't speak for him, but I would say I'm disappointed only because I know what he's capable of, and I know he can do more even without one of our better 6s. That's what I will say. Hopefully that's cohesive enough.
No, I completely agree. And we're going to talk about the big 6 when he came on in a short minute. Glam, I want to ask you the same question in regards to Keita and Ox, because we had a little bit of a conversation before we kind of started recording that one of the areas I always keep fluctuating between is whether Liverpool should sign a midfielder or whether Liverpool should sign an attacker. You said that Liverpool probably shouldn't sign a midfielder unless they are top quality. Do you still have that belief after watching the performances of Naby and Oxlade-Chamberlain from the weekend?
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously, yes, it's one game into the season, and pre-season, a bit like, unlike Harold a little bit, I do look at pre-season in terms not just performance, in terms of fitness, and Naby and Ox are one of the two that really need a pre-season under their belt. And the fact that they stayed fit for selection for the first game of the season, I'm more optimistic about that as well. But I don't know what to make of, especially what Ellis just said, because we had Ox, Milner, and we had Keita. Now, if I was to say to you guys, okay, who was the 6? Who was the information to go attack? Who was the one to hold? Who was the one to track? It would be and Ara like, maybe it was that one, maybe it was that one. So I think the mixture of the midfield was a mixed bag. And Oxley looked reserved. I don't know why. I don't know why it was his performance that he played bad, or he was given instructions to halt his position or halt his attack. But what would he get from the game after the end of the game? What possession was 50-50? Norwich had 50% of the possession, Liverpool had 50% of the possession. And no one took control. When Fabinho come on now, again, what Ellis and Harold said, it's not for Fabinho to hold their hand, but listen, mate, if someone comes on and their duty is to calm and relieve pressure in the midfield, then people around you are just going to adapt in it and obviously going to react. And if Fabinho's there, the other guys are thinking, you know what, I can go and do what I do. But I'm just glad that rather than the offensive side of things, those Ox and Cater stuck to their duties in terms they were just cautious. There was no frills from them, I get that, but they were just cautious. And I think had they been going blazing forward, then we was conceding goals or getting ripped up at the back, not that it happened with Van Dijk, I think people would have been on them even more, I think. So I am cautious. I don't think we need another centre midfielder. If we're going to sign a midfielder, we need a top quality one that walks straight into the team, no questions asked. Not one to compete. We've got enough midfielders to compete. We'll need a top quality one. And I don't think they're going to spend that money.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with what you said there. So I always think of the games of being in kind of, this game in particular being in kind of like three really distinct acts, kind of like a film, really. So you got that period where you're just kind of bedding in, you're feeling it out, pause, to kind of get an inclination of what the game is going to be like. You have the period where you go from 1-0 to up until the Fabinho substitution, and you have everything that happens after the Fabinho substitution. So when Fab was introduced into the game, you could really tell that it unlocked the fluidity of our squad, and you saw the transition really kind of up itself. So, when we won the ball back in midfield or we won it back in defence, from regaining that possession to chance creation, the fluidity there was just absolutely on the money every single time. And then, the most important thing was it allowed the midfield to be less of a functional unit and be more in tune with the front three. Is what we saw from kind of from the second goal in particular. Els, I'll come to you. The Fabinho introduction, does that give you, talking about what we said about Ox and Kaya there, does that give you a bit more pause to be saying that if Fabinho starts, we see a little bit more of that? We see a little bit more confidence in both of those midfielders to do the attacking side of their job a lot more efficiently than we did before his introduction.
Yeah, it does. Just because he's so good at what he does in terms of breaking up play and dictating our play. I think Pep Lynch calls him the lighthouse, and he doesn't use that very, very loosely. So he's the one that guides our play. He's the one that sees where the danger is, snuffs it out, and just gives it to the forward players. There's been games where they've played with Fabinho and they really haven't done much. So I'm still and ahhing about that, just because maybe this is just their level. Why are you laughing, bro? There has been games where like they played with Fab and it's left a lot is left to be desired. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit long, but I don't know. Maybe this season we'll probably see a different Ox and a different Naby, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. Fab plays better with the likes of Hendo and the likes of Thiago, just because they're more like mature in their play. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're very, very disciplined and they know what to do when they have to do it. I think with Ox and that, they haven't played for so long with this team. They spent majority of it on the bench, or they've played majority been injured. So they have to get up to speed with how they play and the sharpness of what we want. But hopefully the season's long. Maybe they might get a few games here and there under their belt, and they'll get up to speed with what we want to do, man.
I think that's where the preseason kind of worked well within their favour. So you've seen them kind of be within those drills and be in that team shape and kind of within those exercises to kind of see what we really want to do and what we kind of expect out of our midfield output. Glam, anything you want to say from Ellis's comments there?
Yeah, I'm not sure Fab plays better with Thiago and bloody Hendo. Fab just does quality on his own. He's a top quality player. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of the Thiago and Fabinho partnership. Just in the sense that I think you play one or you play the other. They both like to control the ball and they both like passing. Thiago's overall sort of game style is to obviously see a pass and break up, play us in somewhat, but I'm not a fan of those two playing together. I'll be honest. Thiago will be on the bench for me. And then you work around the other two. So you put in obviously Hendo, But Thiago's starting on the bench for me.
This is why we love Glam. This is why we love Glam.
Well, I'm just saying.
What are you talking about, bro? So do you not see the last 10 games?
No, because obviously, Thiago's a fantastic player, but look at he's used like a go-to for his country. Spain has never been a regular for Spain. Bayern Munich, he was. He's got the attribute. He's a top class player, but he's never really been a regular to say, he's a starter everywhere he's been. Like, I'm just being honest. Obviously, he's had injury problems, yes, but if we're looking at quality, yes, guys, he should be one or two first player on a team sheet for his quality. I'm talking about, does he complement the midfield if him and Fabinho need to play? I don't think so, personally. I think Fabinho's role will be hindered with Thiago there. Otherwise, what's Thiago's role?
He's a playmaker. He's a playmaker. So, like I said,
okay. So he's a playmaker. He's a deep line playmaker. Yeah. Yeah,
but what Fab does, Fab breaks up play, and then Fab will find Thiago. Thiago will look.
No, that's the thing. Fab don't need to find Thiago. Fab can find a pass.
I get you.
This is my point. Like, he doesn't need to use Thiago like you drink water, like to say, you have it and then you go play. No, he's not a sideman. He doesn't need him. So why are we going to hinder Fab? Like, I'm not a fan of the partners. I said they're terrific. He's a terrific player. I'm not saying he's sure. I'm just saying I don't like the blend. I'm all about the blend. I don't like the blend of them two.
To be fair, we've not actually seen it in a full Liverpool 11. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like What's Ellis talking about telling us about that? He likes they plays better together and we ain't seen him in a blend. So I'm saying the same guy.
Because if you look at the last 10 games of the season, when Thiago started to play better, it was when Fab came into the team. No,
I think he's more settled. I just think he's more settled. But I think he should be a Fab and Thiago. Those two should vie for the same role. That's what I think.
Not a chance, bro. But you saw when Thiago played in that. Thiago's not good in that Fab role.
Yeah, but Thiago's not good at tackling either, and he gives away too many free kicks.
Yeah,
I don't want to be under pressure.
Yeah, but he's not used to all that, like chasing the man back and tackling. But when he moved a bit further forward, it was a little bit better. No,
he got better. Don't get me wrong. He got better. I was onto him. He got really better. He's more settled than he showed his quality. He really showed his quality. But Fab's the number one for me. And the others work around him. Fab is the number one. No,
so what's your midfield? What's your midfield?
What, everyone fit?
Everyone fit, yeah. Everyone fit.
Oh, mate. It's going to be Fabinho. And I'm going to say if Ox or Kate have got to play, not both. So one of them got to play.
Which one?
I can't. I'm going to say Naby.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to say everyone fit. I'm going to put Henderson in there. Hey. Henderson, Naby, and Fabinho. And I'm not a top Henderson fan.
Oh, we know.
But listen, Genie's gone. The next person to do the dog work that he's going to be doing is Henderson. Naby's got the quality. And I just think Thiago needs to sit on the bench and be that guy to come on if we're not doing well or to change the game and the dynamics. I'm not starting him with Fabinho. I'm sorry. The balance, I don't like it. I've got a problem with it, guys. I don't like it. I just don't like it, man. Let Fabinho play his game. Both of them like being on the ball. Why do we need two players in the middle that love the ball? Why?
It's Glam. I personally think you're overstating how much Fab likes to be on the ball. Fab has great to pick out a pass, but bro, like his main quality is breaking up play. Like that is what he does so well, right?
That is his main quality. Yeah,
that is his main quality, bro. But when it comes to those like threaded balls, we saw in the last 10 games in the season. Thiago was running things, bro.
Okay, so how many assists did Thiago get?
Glam.
I'm just asking a question, buddy. I'm just asking a question. Why?
We've had this discussion before. You can't judge you can, but you can't really judge a player off assist. It's about chance creation and whatnot.
I'm not judging a player for assist, but his qualities is as a playmaker. You know, we go back to the playmakers. Obviously, assess Fabregas, deep lying. That was his sort of role, no? So I'm saying,
well,
I know Thiago's quality.
I'm not.
What I'm saying,
Glam. No. Wait,
okay.
What's the Fabregas talking about? You talking about Fabregas that plays for Monaco or Fabregas that plays for Arsenal?
It's the same fucking guy. He's not cloned,
No,
is it?
it's
It's
not.
Fabregas.
Fabregas
not.
was an 8, man. It wasn't a 6 or like a deep line player.
Bro, it's like for Arsenal, Fabregas never relied on speed. Yeah, Fabregas will see a pass from deep or Central Park. He doesn't need to overtake the halfway line to see a pass, but he sees a pass. Now, Thiago, is not blessed with pace. We know that. Yeah. So his role in the team, as you said, and I agree with you, is to be a playmaker. Now, if you're a playmaker, you are based on primary assist. Or are you saying he's one of the engine starters that starts the engine, but then, you know, what we saying?
Glam. It's not one extreme to another.
Yeah, what we're saying is that he is the metronome in our team. He dictates the play. He's the one that gets us going. Fab breaks it up, gives it to Thiago. Thiago now finds the elusive pass.
You're undermining Fabinho. I'm sorry. You're taking Fabinho over some side man.
Let's put a pin in this and we'll revisit it at a later date. Just I'm conscious.
No
of time,
problem.
But both of the other goals were absolutely sensational. By the way, you look at again. We talk about that kind of fluidity and functionality from the midfield. It's on display no other than the second goal. You look how the midfield intersects with the front three, and just Mo Salah is just absolutely fantastic. The finish from Bobby is cool as it will be. I'm on the record stating that that kind of rotation with Bobby and Jota up front will be to the advantage of both of them, really, in terms of.
Agreed. Shout out Bobby. Shout out Bobby because he was brilliant when he came on. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, it was awesome. It was fantastic when he came on.
I think you made a great point, Chris, about Bobby. A rested Bobby is a different kettle of fish. When you have to play Bobby all for 50-odd games, you're not going to get the best out of him. Hence why I think it's important that Jota stays fit, just so that Bobby can at least get a bit of rest, because his quality come off the bench will do us a lot, man.
100%. And you look at I think one of the underestimated things of Firmino is how silky he is on the ball too. Like his touch is quite soft, and he can beat a man with that. If you're bringing him off the bench, on 65, 70, and again, your opposition centre backs are already a little bit sound like Pep there, aren't they? The opposition centre backs, they're already a little bit tired. They're already a little bit run down. They're thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, we've got to defend this guy now. So it could. Yeah. I think it'll work. It'll definitely work in both of their favours. But the third goal is just such a class from Mo, and he's non-stop throughout this game, boy. When he missed that other chance near the end, he had his hands in his head, and he was absolutely raging on himself and the unselfishness to put Mane through just to make sure that Mane got a goal.
Pass blood.
I don't know. I think that
why does Salah always do the opposite of what we want in those situations? I don't get it.
No sense.
I mean, they're all in a good mood, isn't it? I mean, Jota scored, Bobby scored, Mo scored. They're like, let's get Sadio on there as well, man. Let's make it a party. But yeah, man. For me, anyway, for me, Mo Salah is, without a shadow of a doubt, he's the best player in the Premier League. And for me, it's kind of not up for debate. The guy who was once...
It is. VVD, bro.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah. These are nasty agendas I can get behind, I'm going to do a mic here. As long as the Liverpool players, they're nasty agendas I can get behind. But, the guy who's labelled a one-season wonder, and he's just been delivering it season after season after season after season. He's been absolutely terrorising defenders. And you look at the impact he's had on this team. for me, it's just absolutely sensational. And Glenn, I'm going to come back to you on this. Can we look at the situation he's in with his potential contract renewal? You look at it and you think, just give the guy what he wants. Because, okay, fair enough. I'll see where this is going. For me, I look at it, I think, Kevin De Bruyne is on like 350 grand a week. Just give the guy what he wants, man, because the influence that he has on this Liverpool team, from not only the goal scoring, but creating opportunities and that desire to win and put the team first in a lot of instances and just kind of play with that fire, that passion that we love as Liverpool fans. It's just absolutely sensational.
Yep. No, 100. And, listen, I have my Salah challenges, and therapy. But, that's just based on performance. But his record is incredible. His importance to Liverpool is incredible. And, my only gripe was obviously, I kind of heard that he wanted to go Real Madrid. I might say, well, don't want to be at my club, piss off. But put that aside, he should be given what he wants. He's earned it. He's earned it. He's definitely earned it. And he's consistent regardless. And this is what annoys me but delights me about him, because in the terms of what annoys me, because when I get on his back and everyone's like, oh, shut up. He's scoring. Yeah, but he's playing shit or he ain't doing enough. But then what delights me about him is that he's banging goals to Liverpool. We win games, or he's doing well. So you can't really talk to him because he's doing his job. And I'm a man of his performance, but he's banging his goals, and that's his job, bro. Do you know what I mean? And he wants golden boot. So he deserves his new contract. He deserves his pay. You know what I mean? I'm seeing other players that are on, I don't know, a certain Grealish on 300k. I know he's got 100 pound review, but mate, if I'm Mo Salah and I'm seeing that, I'm just looking at my agent like, are you serious? Are you really serious? This guy's on 300k and I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, do you know what I mean? It's criminal. It's criminal. It's criminal.
These agents are waste man in general anyway. Like, they're tweeting nonsense during the game as well. Like, he's a waste man.
Yeah, no, he deserves it. He deserves it, man.
Harold, I come to the same question with you. I actually touched on Glam's point that it's a really good one. You see, I mean, you look at the money Grealish is on, you think he's not delivered in Europe. This is where I'm going to get nasty now, because I like Jack Grealish as a player and, fellow black country man.
No, get nasty, bro. Get nasty, mate.
I mean, this guy, he's not delivered in Europe. Oh, I've missed Glam so much. I've missed it. You look at what he's not delivered a lot in his career. He's probably had more car accidents than trophies. And yeah, I know. Well, we're getting nasty here, isn't it? You also look at one balding Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at Arsenal, and you look at the money he's on, and if you're Mo Salah, you're thinking, mate, the decline he's done, and he secured that bag, and then just became dog shit. I mean, this might probably come back to bite me on the arse when he scores against us at some point, but hopefully it's in a 5-1 loss.
Never.
You look at it and you think he has to be paid to be one of the, or if not the highest paid player in the Premier League.
Yeah, I guess you can say that, but look what we're comparing ourselves to, bro. We're comparing ourselves to the first £1 billion team or $1 billion team, wherever they were calling it. I think it's a bit silly comparing wages with City. Like, there's just no point. With Arsenal, yeah, fair. Like that's like I can rock with that because they're a normal team.
They're not. They're anything but normal.
What about Dean Henderson? Henderson,
you know what I mean?
100k, mate.
No, but you know what I mean in terms of like, bro. See, he's spent 100 million. Like, and I love Jack Grealish, but 100 million, like, come on, like, that's ridiculous amount of money. Like, anyway, let's move that aside. With your point about Aubameyang, yeah, fair. Like, I think you, bro, I am all for seeing a brother get paid. Mo Salah deserves it, but absolutely, he's about to join the Premier League 100 club as well, bro. Look, he deserves it in every way possible. He just looks so on it. That's one thing that no one could ever say to Salah. He just always looks like he's on it. The intensity there doesn't look to drop off. This is his 5th season now for us, just starting. And it looks like he's just getting better and better. And he takes care of himself. He takes care of his body. Shout out Eden Hazard. He looks after himself when necessary.
You are breathing heavy like a dog.
Oh man, shots on the pod, man.
So look, I personally, honestly, like him getting these like 300 racks, bro. I don't know how much it is. I'm all for it. Absolutely deserves every penny of it. That's happens when you consistently deliver quality. Like you're talking about one of our few players to deliver 20+ goals season after season after season, right? And these guys, they don't come along often, man. And goals, as we know, that it's the biggest currency, man. Like goals is all we care about. Here I was talking about Jota earlier. I don't care about his performance. He scored, and that's what we say about Salah. But Salah does perform well sometimes. He does create well, particularly in the Champions League. He loves it. He's a top goal scorer in the Champions League. I even forgot. That's ridiculous. That's actually ridiculous. And he did it in about like 30-something games less than Gerrard. Like honestly, bro, like all for it. Salah, earn your money. You deserve it, man.
I'm not asking Els because I know it's going to be the exact same thing. It'll be if Ellis was in charge, he'd be like, you know what, pay yourself whenever you want because the impact you've had on the team is just mad. He would pay him in rupees, but I mean that's a different story. He get paid, didn't it?
Nah, yeah, I just echo the sentiment of Harold. Really, man, just pay the guy what he wants, man. Pay the guy what he wants, man.
100%. Speaking of contracts, David Ornstein in his Monday column, I'm glad he's brought it back actually because it's one of those things when get ready for work in the morning, kind of sit there, I just read his morning column, see what the movements are. It's usually some form of pain for someone, but it wasn't actually pain for anyone this week from a Liverpool point of view. He reported that Jordan Henderson has agreed a deal in principle for a new 3-year contract with the option of a 4th year, dependent on his fitness criteria. I'm going to come to Glam on this one because this actually got you a little bit annoyed when we were kind of just initially discussing it, and it was mainly due to the fact that Wijnaldum wasn't afforded the same liberties in his contract negotiations. I'm going to give you the floor, sir, so you can talk us through it.
Yeah, it's just the Wijnaldum saga, especially it ran on far too long, and I just got the feeling, obviously, that he definitely wanted to stay, but he wanted obviously to secure his future for his family, which is I mean obliged to do. And that the contract that we would have gave him, the 3-year deal would have brought him to what, he's 29 at the time, so 32, probably the late stage of his career. And I feel that what he's done for the club, we've got him for 25 mil. He's always available. I mean, everyone else is injured around him. That guy's always available, whether he's tired or when I was tired, probably get rested today. And you see him out there on the pitch. The fact that we just drog it on and then we use the fact of philosophy that we don't really renew contracts, 2-year contract, I believe that was offered rather than the 3. And a testament to his qualities, look where he's ended up. Well, Barcelona after him, Bayern made a late bid for him. And, he's ended up at PSG. He's probably laughing now, the so-called Messi. But I just think it's a bit, it's a tasteless feel to me when obviously, it's nothing to say we shouldn't offer Henderson that, which is fine. But now we're going above and beyond. We're going to give Henderson he's 31, a 3-year contract extension, obviously a 4th, depending on obviously how much appearance he makes. And yeah, I know he's a club captain, but just so soon, I know, I don't know Genie personally, but I just know when he sees that, he ain't going to come out publicly, but that's really going to leave a sour taste. Obviously, he loves Liverpool, man. His family was happy here. And it was pretty much a thing of like, go for the best of your career. And, do you know what I mean? He moved. I think we offered that, he would have stayed, no problem. And yeah, it really, I got mixed feelings about it.
I'd be really annoyed if he did know Wijnaldum and he didn't not once invite him on the pod. I'd be very annoyed if that was the case, Carl. I'm going to say. They're a bit disheartened. Is it me? Is it the hosting? Is that what it is? But no, I completely agree with you. You do look at it and you think it's a little bit odd because the one interesting thing from that report that Augustine said, and Harold, I'm going to come to you on this part, is that the Wijnaldum situation played a very key role in getting this swiftly done. Obviously, we saw a lot of PR come out from Henderson's side, with the unhappiness and whatnot, but we never actually really saw that from Wijnaldum's side in these contract negotiations. Do you think this incident with Ginny and not getting that resolved, him leaving on a free, that Klopp was just kind of intent to not have a similar situation, especially with a club captain?
Yeah, I think so. As you said that, I was a bit like, how the hell did it do that? But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, try to learn from your mistakes. None of that happen again. I'm with Glam. I don't really understand a 3-year deal with option of a fourth. That is a bit of a slap in the face to Genie. I think he'd understand that. Okay, you give your club captain a 2-year deal. Yeah, fair. He's been here for the better part of a decade. Well, sorry, a decade, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, fair enough. But yeah, it's like, honestly, learn from your mistakes, get better at it. Give Hendo the deal, not 3 years, not 4 years. I personally think that's too much. However, at the same time, you're probably thinking Hendo probably needs to retire at the club. Like, I get it. Like, I get that. It will be weird if he left. Do you know what I mean? So, like, even when Gerrard left, it's a bit like let's just let him retire here. Like, it was a bit. Yeah. It was a bit weird for me. Like, why are you in America? It's strange.
Yeah, but talk about contract situations that were handled poorly. By the way, that might have been one of the most poor ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was so maybe they learned from that. Like, your club captain for 10 years. I mean, not he wasn't club captain for that long, but your club captain's been here for 10 years. Give him until the end of his career. Give him his testimonial. He's already earned. Cool. Yep. See you later. Fine. Honestly, just tie down the key cogs in this team. And I know, Glam, you don't like this, but his intangibles are fantastic. And by that, I mean, he's shouting comps. I love him. He's leadership.
I hate it, bro. It pisses me off.
Absolutely love it. I hate that. I love it.
Stand it, bro. Like, and I know some of the players can't stand it either, but they don't say nothing. Like, you just kick the ball away. Oh no! Like, bruv, come on, man. Come on, man. Like, I would have punched you in your face by now, bro.
I couldn't. But you say that, Glam, but look at Timiskas. Timiskas gave the ball away, fam. Milner had to slap him, bro. Like, wake up, Ruben.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I think Milner does it. When Milner does it, I feel it's with passion and it's natural with Milner. I honestly do. Henderson, like, it's like Pickford. Pickford knows he does it. He just screams like a goal will go in or someone will blast the ball over, and you see Pickford reaction. I'm thinking, you donut. You're not that aggressive. And I just think, like, come on now, mate. Let's get the maturity side of things and just try do it a bit better.
Glam doesn't like. Do you know what I mean? Glam doesn't like him, though.
No, because I'm not. Do you know what? It's not Gerrard. So I'm sorry. This guy is not Mr. Liverpool.
Of course,
he's not Steven. No, he's not. He's not Steven Gerrard, bred and born. And I want to see another captain eventually. Like, fucking hell. Now we've got 3 to 4 years of the same captain. And
what the heck?
Do you know what I mean? It's just like we need to move on, man, and we just need to move on and gradually get over. Do you know what I mean? But good luck to Henderson. I do like him around. Do you know what I mean? But I just think that 3-year deal, 31. So he's 34. You know he's going to get the games out. You know the final season, he's going to get all the injections he needs to get that last flipping contract rate. I'm telling you. And then the parents is up. Trust me, that's a 4-year deal. Forget the 3-year. That's a 4-year deal already.
Chris, cut his mic. It's outrageous. Cut his mic. I can't believe we're letting this air. I can't believe it.
I'm very much looking forward to the season, to Henderson's last season, when he just comes up looking like Stallone in Rocky 4.
Bro, he's gonna be ripped and shredded. Watch.
Just the exact same montage that Drago does when the Russians just pump him up with all the HGH known to man. Yeah, that's gonna be something to watch. There's not much else going on in terms of transfer stuff. Obviously, there is a little bit of I say a little bit. Shaqiri is, well, hopefully he'll be completing the transfer to Lyon this week.
He ain't going.
You think?
Nah, he ain't going, man.
Nah, get that brother out of here.
That's going to fall through, guys. That's going to fall through.
So I think it will go. I'm hoping it'll go through, and I think we'll be helped by Maxwell Cornier. His transfer from Burnley from Lyon to Burnley, of all teams, which means that Burnley will have a non-white player, which is like, whoa, talk about progression.
Hey, please respect Aaron Lennon, brother.
Is he still there?
He's gone, isn't he?
I'm not aware he is, man. No,
No, I think you're right.
bless him,
He played behind closed doors game, I think, today.
There is a Nigerian that plays for Burnley, though, by the way. I forgot his name.
That's going to be a mad experience, isn't it?
Yeah, there is. You know, Chris,
Yeah,
you continue. I'll find it. Say again, else?
First team or youth team?
Yeah, bro, he played like 2 appearances last season.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
think I know you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't know he's Nigerian, though, but yeah, he did come on.
Yeah. We need to save that guy because he's having an experience that I don't think he wants to have. But yeah, hopefully that aids kind of pushes that through a little bit. So that will give funds that Leon can then give to Liverpool for the transfer of Shaqiri, which again that will hopefully open up one of those non-homegrown quota spots, so you can bring someone into the squad. Quick round robin in terms of what kind of play you would sign. Else, we are all hoping that one more player does come in this transfer window. Any names you're hoping will come in, or just a profile of player?
I don't have no names, Chris, but I do really want a forward. I want a forward who can play on the right side, give Mo a bit of a break, and also he's equally adept of playing as a Roman centre forward. I don't think we're gonna get a number 9 anytime soon. I think our game's progressed more than that. So I want someone who can do a job on the right and centrally.
I like it. Jota from the other side. Glam?
Anyone, man. Fucking hell, mate. Anyone good, mate. I tell you, I just need someone to sign good, man. I'll be honest, bro. Like, we're not getting anyone. I'll tell you that for now. But it'd be great to just sign a top player. I'll be honest, I'm surprised we didn't take a punt in Leon Bailey, but wide player attributes suit us, but maybe there's something there because I know Klopp's got his scouts in Germany. They know obviously to the T, so I'm shocked at that one. But yeah, no, I don't think we're going to sign anyone. Listen, our squad is looking at our squad on Sunday and players missing. Our bench is filled up. It's not like just sticking rookies on it and we're making up numbers. Our bench is filled up, and we still had Henderson missing, Jones missing off the bench as well. So we're good stead, and I'm not saying bring anyone for the sake of it, because that's still the title-winning team apart from Genie. But yeah, I'm happy with the squad, but I do want someone to come and lift. And as Ellis said, a forward player. Just take a look. Yeah. I don't think Ox don't work as in a forward line. I know we tried that; it just don't work. Do you know what I mean? So someone in the forward line, but who knows? Harvey Elliott might come and shine.
Harold? Have you found the Burnley Nigerian?
Yeah, I have actually. He's actually not Nigerian. He's not Nigerian at all.
I knew you were Nigerian, man. Yeah, so racist, bruv. Why you say he's Nigerian?
I am. Sorry. His name is Joel Mom Bongo. His name is from the Democratic Republic of Congo. However, he plays for Sweden. And who would I sign?
Fair enough.
I would sign just an out-and-out striker, man. I've said it many a time. I just love an out-and-out striker. I wouldn't be mad with someone on the forward line, but like now I've got to the point. I just want to sign someone. Just give me someone I can get excited about. Liverpool kit. That's it. Also, before I know Christian want to round off here, guys. I just want anyone who's listening to this pod just at our account. And I want to have a poll. I want to see how many hours of sleep do you guys think Costa Shimikas gets a night? Just answer that question.
I've never known someone who needs.
Bro, his bags are amazing. His bags are mad.
Bro, he looks like
just woke up.
Bro, he's so stressed.
Good Lord.
How old is he?
24, 23?
Yeah, 24, 25.
I ain't gonna lie. He looks good, though. He looks like he's got quality.
Yeah, he looks a player still.
He's 25.
Man.
Sorry, Chris, as you were.
No problem. It looks like he.
Just quickly, guys. Give me your guys midfield. Everyone, give me your midfield free. Everyone fit. Just quickly before you wrap up.
Hendo, Fab, Thiago.
Same.
Okay, so just Cater and the Thiago thing. Okay, not far off. Fair enough.
I wouldn't be mad with Naby, but it's one of those ones where you look at it and think, is he going to be available? But obviously, that's
it's either him or
for the season because it is very different.
Yeah.
It should be KR, but we just know if we can rely on him. You're right. It should be him.
Well, it's and when you talk about make or break seasons, fuck it out. It is make or break for him this season.
What about the front? What about first choice front three?
Same that played on the weekend.
What, starting?
Yeah.
Even with okay, so what in certain games though, I take it, yeah. Against City, I would play Bobby.
I would probably play both, I'd probably play Jota and Bobby. But
what,
like
as a four, like that last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I liked it personally.
That worked. I think that worked with Bobby in a 10. And then
not with Jota though. Not with Jota, because he wasn't that great.
Yes,
honestly, in that game. But...
So I'm saying City, I would play the normal front three. That's what I'm saying. Certain games, definitely did that game. Man United, I'm playing the normal. No, I'm playing Jota. That's good options, man. Good options. I like it.
No, I love it. And if you do want more insight from the Kop End guys, do head over to the Patreon page. That is www.patreon.com/Kop End Fracas, where we will be doing our weekend preview show. Of course, the accompaniment and NWO shows that we discussed earlier on too. And we're doing a new series called Football and Me, where we're kind of exploring everyone's respective origin story. We're going Marvel universe here with origin stories, and we're going to see how the guys got into how the guys and girls got into football, and what kind of led them to this point where they're talking about football on a pod. But yeah, there's so many lovely, weird, and wonderful things coming on the Patreon. Again, from tactical pieces, from just fun enjoyment stuff that we like doing. From £3 a month, that will be access to you. So do head over to the Patreon page today and subscribe. Of course, the TLF live show will be this Sunday at 2 p.m. No hoods, no hats, casual wear only. To quote those old Jamaican pirate station adverts from back in the day. At 2 p.m. at Brewdog in Dalston. It's going to be a good time. There's going to be pammings, and the vibes are just going to be fantastic. So do make sure you secure your ticket and attend on Sunday. But that has been your episode of Kop End Fracas for this week. You've had an hour and a half of some fantastic stuff here. So thank you very much for tuning in if you have made it to the end. I have been your host, Krish, and this week I've been joined by Glam, Harold, and Ellis to talk about Liverpool's fantastic victory against Norwich. We will see you next week when we'll be hopefully analysing another win against Burnley. But until then, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Laters.